It's time to test your skills. This test was requested by Primal Hive tier member Pronger. Thank you so much for your support. If you would like to support me by becoming a member, the link is in the description below. Shout out to all the members who are supporting me. You can also help me out by clicking the like and subscribe buttons, as well as sharing the video with your friends who like Alarak. Now let's get to the video. Alarak has a hero unit, but it's actually not that good without a large army. He's very good at head-on fights, and with the introduction of P3, he is also pretty good at multitasking. There will be both head-on and multitasking tests for P3 and head-on tests for the others. Let's start with head-on. The quiz is Firewall. Your ability to clear the mines in a timely manner will be tested. Can you keep your Havocs alive? The midterm is Growing Threat. Alarak does extremely well against most comps in this mutation, so you'll have to fight the hardest one, which is Vanguard of Ire. The Reavers are likely to become hybrids, so can you deal with them quickly? The final exam is Temple of Rebirth. Call It a Comeback is quite difficult, and Worn Out Welcome is a bit too easy, so this is a good middle ground. The enemy cannot be Zerg or Terran Bile, nor can it be Shadow Disruption or Siege of Storms. Honestly, I'm not sure whether or not this one is harder than Growing Threat, but Temple is a harder map, so the final exam will be taken there. The dissertation is Enter the Nexus. Your knowledge of heroes from the storm will be put to the test. Make use of those ramps. Now let's go on to multitasking. The quiz is Watch the Skies. This will double as a missile command test because you'll be dealing with missiles the entire time. Enemy comp must be Terran but not Bile. The midterm is Doomsday Report. It's this again. Multitasking to the max. No weak air Zerg or Terran Bile for this one. The final exam is Certain Demise. This will test your clearing speed and your focus. No Devouring Scourge. The dissertation is Timely Reinforcements. This may or may not be easier than Certain Demise, but Rifts as a mutator is always tough. No rest until the end. Next, we have P0 and P2. These two prestiges are often used against three mutators, Power Overwhelming, Black Death, and Double Edged. For the quiz, we have Inordinate Response. You can use the War Prism sniping strategy if you want. You will also have to minimize the effects of Power Overwhelming as best as you can. The midterm is Endless Infection. Lots of units with Black Death heading towards your base and your army. Can you keep your distance from them? The final exam is Ulnar New Year. Isn't this a fun holiday mutation? Yes, for all but 3 commanders, and Alarak is one of those 3. Even with lucky envelopes, you'll be burning through that cash unless you maintain a good distance from the enemies. The dissertation is Train of Pain. Alarak does not like double-edged. What can he do when he's forced to deal tons of damage to trains? And now for the P1 tests. P1 is used when you need the raw firepower of Wrathwalkers, so that's what will be tested. The quiz is Equivalent Exchange. Wrathwalkers go pew pew. The question is, can you pew pew enough before the fortress or your base goes down? The midterm is Frostbite. Vanguards might actually make an appearance here. One stipulation, the boss must be Stanks. Type -boss pick Stank to select it. The raw DPS of Wrathwalkers will be displayed here. Unfortunately, the Dead of Night mutations with Avenger and Just Die were too difficult and the others were too easy. So this one is just hard enough so that you'll have to go to the very late game and deal with multiple Stanks. I mean, you get to witness the glory of Wrathwalkers melting Stanks. The final exam is Hell Train. Unlike other commanders, Just Die trains isn't as big of a problem for Alarak because his DPS is so high. But will it be a problem for you? The dissertation is Thunderdome. I didn't want to choose another Magmine's mutation, but I ended up choosing this one anyway because the others are kind of hard for P1. P1 takes longer to get decent DPS compared to P3, and Lock and Load gives you plenty of time to ramp up. Honestly, I think these tests for P1 are much easier than the rest because you would probably use P3 for any mutation that is actually difficult. And now for the skill tests. First skill is Full Clearing Temple of the Past quickly. Quick Killers is the map for that. You can try Grave Danger if you want a slightly easier version. You only have to clear the 3 lanes so that the killbots or reanimators stop spawning. The next skill test is winning against killbots that you can't stop, and that will be unlocked and loaded. It's basically speedrunning LNL with a mutator that forces you to act quickly. The next skill test is to win against speed props without using a worker wall. That means you gotta use force fields. The mutation for that is Think Fast, but if you really want to, aggressive recruitment is an option. RTK is much easier than Malwarfare, with or without the permanent cloak. The last skill test is to beat a Scythe of Amon mutation on one base using War Prism sniping tactics. You should snipe at least 4 of the 5 slivers with overcharge. You can combine this with inordinate response if you want, but you don't have to. So, Alarak main, are you up to the challenge? Here is a checklist of the tests. Cross them off as you complete them. Here's the list for the rest of them. And here's the list of the skill tests. And that's the end of the tests. Like and subscribe if you want more tests for other commanders. Comment your thoughts on the challenges. If you want to submit a test for review, please go to my Discord. People who complete the tests can have their runs listed in my Hall of Fame sheet. Check it out in the description. Thanks to all the members who are supporting me. Again, if you would like to join them, please check out the link in the description below. And while you're here, why don't you check out some of the previous tests? They'll be appearing on the screen shortly. See you there.